his
Long live the monarchy.
ascendancy look like
Long live the monarchy.
it's a matter of human discretion. Because in all this, it is man's attempt again to replicate the move of divinity. Because God is unchanging and eternal, we are trying to create the same with the institutions that we establish under our government. Destined to fail, we understand that, but the attempts are still made. So for the descendants of the Windrush generation to find themselves now being treated as outsiders, second class or no class citizens, the passport don't have no meaning in today's world. These are things which must be very perplexing.
Okay.
So the lady, I'm just looking at the story that is written about her design of the commemorative coin. She says, I didn't want them to appear as arrivals or of people who do not belong, because this is not about our presence in this country and not about our not belonging here in the United Kingdom. Having them stand before the Union Jack is significant because most of the people who came here to the UK would have grown up possibly waving the flag. In other words,
they were not independent.
They were always a part of the UK.
Correct.
Where they were located, it was of no significance because empire is one. If you're standing on Indian soil, Jamaican soil, Australian soil, wherever you are standing in the Commonwealth, you were fully entitled.
In the empire there was no Commonwealth.
No, well, I'm speaking now from present generation.
Right.
So we saw it when Montserrat had their volcano, the volcanic eruption. Yes, they then discovered that the passport that they thought gave them some entitlement was
They could remember that was.
Britain needs to stop it.
It is a thing
I'm
of
not calling them no UK.
It's
a
convenience.
Yeah, or it might look the same, but when you present it, there is something that will show you are not entitled to everything.
On equal footing. That's what.
Yes. Yeah.
You're not
all animals are born equal, but some are more equal than others.
Not on equal footing.
Definitely not on equal footing.
And it speaks to recent trends that continue to emerge in terms of govern and governance that we see, which speaks to the heart of a justice system that works. Oh, well, I have the money and I have the lawyers to represent me, I'm good. So if you go in front of the judge, it's not the same thing. People say it's not the same justice that you get. What do you think?
That is terrible, but it's true. It is true. I mean, outside of, so one of the principles that we advocate leadership is that effective leadership should be objective, on merit.
Correct.
It should treat on merit. There should be no external source of influence that would cause two persons of similar circumstances to get different results.
True.
They really shouldn't. But I do acknowledge that you and I could stand before a person of authority and walk away with different results. And the source of the differential, the source of the differential would be perhaps my own personal authority and brand of advocacy.
Correct. So
how do you account for that?
I'm just thinking about it. So you would expect that if you stand before a judge, a magistrate, and the charges are the same, that the outcome should be the same. And that whether you are rich or poor, which is what the Bible speaks about, you must make sure that there's no favoritism. And you're saying, what accounts for that?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it. Probably how you represent yourself.
The power of advocacy does make a difference. But recently we were in court, and the judge was saying to a young lawyer making a particular request of her, like she said, stop it. We're not creating any precedent. I don't want anyone here to come back to me and say what you just said. And said, well, I saw you do it for that lawyer, so I'm making my bid. A judge once said that to me when I made an appeal rising as a friend of the court to assist someone who was in the dock.
Yes.
And I could tell I had some empathy for where he was
what he was
going.
trying to say.
Yes, and he was not making the best representation on his own behalf. And I rose to assist, and so when after the judge acceded to my request on his behalf, she then made a speech to say, I don't want everybody coming here to get up and say, what do you hear that lawyer just said? But do you know what I was saying to her also, which is a part of the answer to what you and I are discussing? I said to her, it is an amazing thing that a judge must have the capacity to treat each person who appeals to the court as the first and only person making that appeal. Because...
So you're saying for every time it is the first one?
It's the first time. For a judge to be impartial, a judge cannot say to the third person asking for the same thing, I just gave it to two other people.
You will not have it.
Yes, there's no quota of mercy or justice, or it doesn't work like that.
So the whole thing in terms of lamentation, mercy new every morning, grace.
Every morning,
everybody gets a new quota of mercy.
Yes.
Well, that's an important principle that I live by,
Yes.
What happened yesterday is good, but today, Lord, I come for mercy again.
But no, I wasn't looking at it from the recipient of the mercy. You receiving it want it every day. I was looking at it from the source of mercy.
Right.
The source of mercy will not look at you tomorrow and say, you again?
Come to the same. Like forgiveness. Like forgiveness I were talking about.
Yes.
You again?
No,
me again, Jah.
He's not going to say, no, don't come here with it.
Luciano.
Yeah, he's not going to say,
Lord.
You again, please take a number.
And go to the back.
Because you were here yesterday with the same thing. Are you coming back for so-and-so? No. So I was pointing it out to the judge that this is the quality of mercy that is not strained. You can't pick and choose who to expend,
when you want to.
When you want to. Time for the break? Thank you.
That is all.